Turned it over to the Air Force.
Roswell was then home to the world's only nuclear air wing, including the B-29 that had dropped the first atomic bomb on Hiroshima. The base's chief intelligence officer, Major Jesse Marcel, was dispatched to the ranch to investigate.
We had to follow the rancher out there. With just verbal directions, we never would have found it.
Marcel and another officer were the first military to arrive at the crash site. They came upon an expanse of unrecognizable debris strewn across an area the size of a dozen football fields.
There was so much of it. It was scattered over such a vast area. We found a piece of metal about a foot and a half to 2 feet wide and about 2 or 3 feet long. Felt like you had nothing in your hands. It wasn't any thicker than the foil out of a pack of cigarettes. The thing about that got me is that you couldn't even bend it, you couldn't dead it. Even with a sledgehammer would bounce off it.
Marcel was ordered to immediately transport the strange wreckage to Fort Worth Army Airfield. There, Marcel was met by the commanding general, who told him to keep silent in the face of what was becoming a media frenzy.
They had a whole flock of microphones there. They wanted me they wanted some comments from me, but I wasn't at liberty to do that.
Marcel was instead ordered to pose with wood, foil, and rubber debris from a conventional weather balloon.
All I could do is keep my mouth shut. And General Ramey is the one who told the newspapers what it was and to forget about it. It was nothing more than a weather observation balloon. Of course, which we both knew differently.
Colonel Thomas DuBose, who was also ordered to pose with the fake debris, describes how an iron curtain of secrecy slammed down.
This is the highest priority you could exhibit, and you will say nothing. More than top secret, as he said it. Beyond that, this is the story we're going to tell the public. It was a cover story, the balloon part of it. In order, we don't have any more inquiries about what we picked up on the desert.
Congressman Schiff, what got you interested in this subject per se?
I started receiving letters a little over 2 years ago from constituents stating that they believed the government was covering up what happened at Roswell. Many of them clearly believed that it was, in fact, an extraterrestrial crash. The weather balloon story never made sense because there was clearly and undisputed, in my mind, extra military attention to this matter, from extra security around the crash scene to special handling of whatever the debris was. That could fit a classified project. It doesn't fit a weather balloon.
In September 1994, the Air Force issued its response, the Roswell Report, case closed. The Air Force claimed it was a secret project of weather balloons hung with box kites and microphones to spy on Soviet nuclear tests.
Please roll the video.
There's the famous box kite that became the famous flying disc, the weather balloons that were on the balloon train.
Same rubber balloon, same foil box kite as the original cover story, only many of them strung together with microphones dangling beneath.
That's the tinfoil paper, rubber, and sticks that they recovered in the desert near New Mexico in 1947.
The Air Force, nearly 50 years later, was basically telling the same tale. That the top security personnel of the world's only atomic bombing wing really had mistaken this rubber, wood, and tinfoil for a crashed flying saucer.
Being an intelligence officer, I was familiar with just about all materials used in aircraft and in our air travel. This was nothing like that. It was not anything from this earth that I'm quite sure of.
My suspicion is that the Roswell incident did happen, and something maybe not from our universe went down there. And we should allow the American people to make a judgment on what that might have been by disclosing. I mean, this is probably the most blatant case of overreaction to what is national security. The public has a right to know.
Rockefeller put together a briefing document intended for world leaders with a sobering observation. It is conceivable that even the president himself is not fully briefed on matters classified as above top secret.
I did attempt to find out if there were any secret government documents that reveal things, and if there were, they were concealed from me too. I wouldn't be the first president that underlings have lied to or that career bureaucrats have waited out. But there may be some career person sitting around somewhere hiding these dark secrets even from elected presidents. But if so, they successfully eluded me, and I'm almost embarrassed to tell you I did try to find out.
3 feet per second contact now. That was a beautiful one.
Apollo astronaut Edgar Mitchell, who had